One of the most important parts of this study abroad process is getting a scholarship. So today, the guest I'm going to speak to had an admission, and she used an incredible way to get a scholarship. So if you're watching me today, you're welcome. This is the biggest study abroad content platform. My name is Frederick, and what I do on this platform is to share my experience on how to go about the study abroad process. I've had opportunity to assist thousands of people to go through. I have two masters from the United States on a scholarship. So every week, I have what we call the experience series, where I bring individuals who have been through the process to share with you their experience, how they did it, and how you can also do it. So today I'm talking to an incredible lady. She's also studying in the on a full scholarship. She's going to tell us how she did it, how she applied to the universities, which universities did she apply to, which programs is she studying. Would you be interested in such programs? Also, she would also share her experience in terms of going through the visa interview and getting the visa approved successfully. She's on a full scholarship, and that is what you want to achieve. So you want to stick and stay. So my name is Frederick. Tell somebody to tell somebody that the Fred Effect is on. The biggest study abroad content platform is now sharing an insightful journey that you can also learn from. So let's get started. Remember that you can watch us live on Instagram, the Fred Effect. You can watch us live on YouTube, the Fred Effect. If you've not subscribed, please subscribe. We just hit 60,000 followers on Facebook. This is the biggest platform. So please follow, like, share to someone, and let them benefit from the ideas and information we share on this platform as well. All right. So I'll bring my guest on and we get started. Hi, Sarah.
Fred, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Thank you for joining me, and you're welcome to the Fred Effects platform.
Thank you for having me, Fred.
Great. So let's get started. If somebody's seeing your face for the first time, kindly introduce yourself and let us know where you are at the moment.
Right. My full name is Paulina Sewa Jemfi, and I am currently in West Virginia at the West Virginia University doing my master's.
All right. What program are you studying, and where are you originally from?
I'm originally from Ghana, Kumasi to be precise, and I'm studying my master's in journalism.
All right. So to know more about Sewa, Sewa has a TikTok platform where she shares her journey. If you go to TikTok, you can just type I am Sewa. So I am, which is am dot Sewa. And there's some love emoji and a butterfly. Is that it?
Yeah, there is.
Right. So what did you study originally in your home country, and what actually inspired or pushed you to want to study abroad?
So for my undergrad, I went to Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology, where I had a Bachelor of Arts in Culture and Tourism. And amazingly, that was not what I wanted to do, but I believe that was a stepping stone for me. And currently, I'm doing my master's in journalism, which is something I have always wanted to do. But my motivation to study abroad came from one gentleman. So I knew I wanted to further my education, but as to how, where, and when, I wasn't so sure. So in my final year, there was this gentleman that I was talking to. He was already in the US, and he just sparked my interest. And I think I just needed that push. And he guided me through the process. We picked out schools and all those things. And now I decided that now I want to begin this journey.
Right. So when it comes to choosing the programs, um, why did you decide on journalism? Is that what you studied at the undergraduate level?
No. So I didn't do journalism in my undergrad, but like growing up, I've always known that I wanted to be on TV. I wanted to be in the media, something journalism. So I wanted to actually go to the Ghana Institute of Journalism, but
Okay.
my mom was against it because she
Mhm.
felt I was so young to be leaving Kumasi all the way to Accra. So I mean, KNUST presented an opportunity for me to go to university regardless, because I was of the notion that if I can get into like a public university, why not? And I got culture and tourism. I'm like, what am I even going to use this to do? but I made sure that that didn't block me from achieving whatever I wanted to achieve. So
Hmm.
during that time, I made sure that I made the grades and made sure that at any point that that degree was going to be useful, my grade was going to help me there. So during that time, every internship opportunity, I went to do it with a media house because I wanted to have that experience too, so that once I decide to pursue journalism, nobody will have a reason to deny me saying I don't have professional experience.
Right.
So for 3 consecutive times, I worked with media houses, and that made the switch from tourism and hospitality into journalism very easy for me.
So that means that people do not necessarily have to apply to a program that they studied at their undergrad. Maybe they did bachelor's in mathematics. Does not necessarily mean that they have to apply to masters in mathematics, right?
That's very true. So one thing that I would want to say is that all that they need to do is to create a connection between those courses. So what I did was, like, even if I'm studying tourism as a journalist, I need to travel to be able to, write the news or tell the stories. So there
Yeah.
was a connection in there. And once you're able to create the need, even if there's no relation, there's something that you've been doing. So let's say somebody did maths and now they want to do social work, but they have like so much experience working as a volunteer, working with NGOs and all those things. They can leverage on that to
Mhm.
switch the course.
Right. Let's talk about the schools you apply to. I know a lot of people will be interested, and then they've taken their pens and papers to write down. So, what are some of the universities you applied to, and you finally ended up in West Virginia? Did all these universities admit you? Were there any rejections?
So I had actually had a tall list, and this
Right.
friend that I spoke about helped me bring it down. And at that time, so I was watching YouTube videos a lot. So anytime I come across schools, I'll note them down, read the requirements. And West Virginia, I got from, I don't know whether it was a list you brought out or was Kingsford.
Kingsford.
So I got
Yeah.
it and I wrote it down and I followed up. So I applied to 2 schools. I'm like, I got about 16 schools. Why am I applying to just two? But I was this process to, like, it's either you're paying application fee or not. So all those things restricted me. So I applied to 2 schools. That was New Mexico State University, which was a free application, and West Virginia University, where I paid like $60. And with
Okay.
that, even a friend of mine in Germany had to pay that for me because $60 is so much money in Ghana cities.
Yeah.
And I got admitted into both schools, but neither of them gave me funding when I got admission.
All right. So you mentioned New Mexico State University, right?
Yeah.
So if you are just watching us, I'm going to put the website of New Mexico State University. They have acceptance rate of about 78%. If this is the first time you're hearing about this school, you can also take a look at that university. I'm sure they have a lot of programs. This is one of the universities that what apply to. So what we are trying to do on this platform is that what you want to do, people have already walked that path. It shouldn't be challenging for you. And I remember I made a video about this university. They were waiving application fee
Yeah,
as at then.
we
Then I,
did.
I I made a
Yeah.
video about it. So New Mexico State University is what we are sharing on the screen. It's actually located in a city called Las Cruces. And interestingly, some people think New Mexico is in Mexico. Yeah. So New Mexico State University. So which other university did you apply to?
And West Virginia University, that's my current school.
Oh, okay. And where is it located?
It's in Morgantown, West Virginia.
Okay, great. So I'm also putting the West Virginia University on the screen. It has an acceptance rate according to Google about 88%. So this is West Virginia University in Morgantown in West Virginia, which is very close to Ohio, right?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. Great. So in these two universities, did you apply to the same program?
No, so for New Mexico State University, I think I applied to communication studies or something like that. So, I mean, those two fields are related. So, I
Right.
applied to the Com Studies program in New Mexico State.
Right. So if you are just tuning in, you are not late. Do me a favor by clicking on the like button. I would really appreciate that. And sharing this with your friend. so that they can also benefit from the ideas and information we share here. I'm speaking with Sewa. Sewa is studying on a full scholarship at West Virginia University in Morgantown. So she's sharing her experience, how she started the application, how she got her scholarship, how she was able to get her visa to be able to study in the US. If this is something you want to do, please stick and stay. Share with someone else so that the person can also benefit from the ideas and information we are sharing. We are live on TikTok, The Fred Effect. We are live on Facebook, the same platform, The Fred Effect, the same name. We are live on YouTube as well as X or former Twitter, and we are also live on Facebook as well. So, Sewa, moving
Fred, it
on.
looks like you're frozen on my screen. Oh, he dropped.
You were hearing my voice, but I was frozen.
Yeah.
Okay, okay, quite interesting. All right, this technology, by the way. Anyway, so moving on, let's talk about the other schools you applied to. So you mentioned University of West Virginia and then New Mexico State. Which other university?
So those were the two schools that I ended up applying to, but I also had in mind to apply to Ohio University. But the time that I remember to do that, I think priority admissions or deadline had passed.
Mhm.
So I mean, I ended up applying to just those two schools.
All right. Shout outs to Fela. Fela is saying um her lips and English alone is a motivation. Keep okay. Fela, thank you for the comment. All right. So you can also, you know, uh okay, so you can also share your comment in the chat. I'll be happy to read them so we can be responding later on the program. I'm going to share later on the program. I'm going to share the link so that you can join us live in the studio, and we will be happy to respond to your questions as well. All right, you're welcome back. Um, so the next question I wanted to ask is, did your admission automatically come with a scholarship?
No, neither of the two schools gave me admission with funding.
Right. So how come you ended up with a full scholarship then?
So I think when I got those two schools, I wanted to know which one I stood a chance of like moving forward with. But one thing that I also had at the back of my mind was that I wasn't going to go to any school without funding because obviously my parents won't be able to afford that. So I was going to try again. But I came across a video that you had posted, and you mentioned that if you don't get funding, that's not the end of the road, and you outline some steps as to, like you mentioned, that various officers in the school use graduate assistants for some services that they provide. So there are options that I could explore. So I reached out to my grad coordinator once again, and he was so interested in finding me a position because like he felt that my credentials are very good. And for West Virginia University, they were going through some budget restructuring, so that was why funding was cut down. So he was interested, and I did what she said. I reached out to the International Students Office and all the other offices, and they told me that, oh, they do not have positions available currently, but they do have a platform where they post if they have job opportunities available, and that was called the Handshake. So, and for West Virginia University, once you're admitted, you should have access to that account. They will confirm it for you and you can access it. So that was when I started searching for GA positions on that app or website. Yeah. Fred, I can't hear you though.
If you have no idea what video Sewa is referring to, this is the video: admission with no scholarship. Um, do this. So, how to get 100% full ride scholarship abroad. So, if you get admission without a scholarship, what in this video I was explaining for about 17 minutes is the various means and ways you can use to be able to get a scholarship. That video has almost 70,000 views, so it attests to the good information that was found in there. So I'm glad that this video was helpful to you. Now, in terms of the strategies you use, can you take your time and explain what strategy did you use, and what was the outcome of those strategies?
So do I talk about, so for the first one where I sent out the emails,
Hmm.
I believe that some schools do not use the services of the handshake. So
Right.
sending the emails directly will help, because even for West Virginia University, after I had come here, I know one lady that I spoke to who also sent email to the library and she was scheduled for an interview. Unfortunately, she didn't make it, but if she had made it, that was also another tangent. So when you, let's say for library, career services, graduate students office, you reach out to, or you go on their website, they may have like a recruitment officer or even the head of it. You reach out to them and you introduce yourself. You tell them that you have gained admission into that school, but you're looking whether they have available graduate assistantship positions in their office. You attach your CV. If there are some credentials that you think will come in handy for that position, you let them know, and also let them know that you're available for an interview or a Zoom call. I feel like that brings you off as very confident and you know what you're doing. So that is a tangent that she can take. Another tangent for the handshake is that there are filters on there, so you can set the collection to your school's collection, and one easy way is to put in graduate assistantships and it will pull up all the positions that are open. And for before you are able to even do that, you have to set up your profile, and as I always say, blow your horns if you have any let's say any experience that's going to come in very handy. Blow your own horns, because I currently work with the division of diversity, equity and inclusion, and I had worked with foundations before, and those are marginalized populations, so I made sure that I highlighted those experiences that I had. And also there are times that I'll be giving lectures, so I made them aware that I'm a very good communicator and all those things. And so when you get those positions, you don't just apply, you read through them, know the requirements. Even some of them you may not satisfy it, but go for it, maybe you may make it. And another very important thing to watch out for is to make sure that it's a GA position, that it is qualifying you for a tuition waiver. Some of them are students worker opportunities which will not even appear on your I-20. So with that, they can either tell you that there are instructions as to whether you're applying on the handshake app or you're sending your CV and a cover letter to a particular email.
Right. So that is how Sewa did it, and that's how you can also do it. So if you've gotten admission without a scholarship, don't be discouraged. Not every school or every university automatically gives, the scholarship with the admission. Some of them you would have to apply separately, and that's exactly what Sewa did. So Sewa, we'll talk about, all the stress you went through, and since you got admission and scholarship, and being in the US, has it been worth it? So if you're just tuning in, I'm speaking with Sewa. Remember that she shares her experience on TikTok. So if you go to TikTok, you can search for I am Sewa. Um so Sewa, let's talk about your TikTok platform. What do you do there? Why should people follow?
Right. So for my TikTok, you can see like different content on there. So initially, I used to do English pronunciation lessons, but
Right.
coming over here to the US and the British English is a little bit confusing. So I have given a pause to that one, and now I share my journey. So every step that I took and like inspiration from whatever I did, cause my break and it wasn't easy. And I feel like if I was able to do it, a lot of other people should be able to do it once they are dedicated and committed to also doing it. So I have a lot of videos sharing my experiences, and if people ask questions and it relates to my experience, I also do videos of it. And I have some personal videos of myself, just random ones there.
Right. So go to TikTok, search for I am Sewa, I.am.serwaa, and you follow Sewa's journey. She shares very inspiring ideas on how she did the process, visa interviews, applying to universities, and how you can do it. The incredible thing about not necessarily applying to the same program she did at the undergraduate level, and how she switched to a different program. So can you talk about that a little bit? How did you go about that in terms of your SOP? You know that you're applying to journalism program. There is a bachelor's degree in journalism. You don't have that. How did you go about your SOP?
So for my SOP, I obviously spoke about the fact that what I did in my undergrad, but I was more interested in the experience that I had as a journalist, because I
Mhm.
had three solid experiences. I had worked with EIB Network for on two different occasions, and as I was applying, I was an active journalist as well. So I emphasized on that. And one interesting thing is I was reading the news and all that. So I took videos of myself,
Okay.
added it to my application to make it stronger. And I put in my dissertation
Now,
because my
wait a
program.
little bit. So you uploaded videos of yourself in the application portal?
Yeah, so I actually had to reach out. So that is why I believe that it's very important that you correspond with someone in the school
Mhm.
while you're applying. So I was frequently in touch with my grad coordinator. So, and when you're applying, there's a part that says additional documents that you think will help your application. So, I mean, for the videos, they were so large that I couldn't have uploaded it there. So I reached out to him and told him that I have videos of myself doing this and that. Should I send it to him? So I made it into a Google Drive and I sent it to his email, like labeled it correctly, and I sent it to his email. And so for my SOP, I put like I raised a concern about the issue that we have with journalism in my home country, and the fact that working as a journalist for a number of years, I have come to understand these problems. And I feel like the masters that I'm going to have will have a direct impact or help me come solve that problem. So, aside mentioning my undergrad course, and for my undergrad, so I also made sure that I wanted to pinpoint the experiences in there that was going to help this application, and not necessarily concentrate on the tourism and hospitality, which wasn't going to do anything for me. So I was looking out for a TA position too. So I made sure that I mentioned I was a peer mentor and all that. So pretty much I put in more of my professional experience than my academic experience in that SOP.
Let's talk about these exams: TOEFL, IELTS, GRE. Did you sit for any of those exams? If not, why?
So I did not have to sit for any of them, but so GRE was required, I guess. But because I had professional experience, I had the advantage of it being waived for me. So I reached out. I had read that it can be waived if you have 2 years of professional or internship experience. So I reached out to my grad coordinator and I told him that I have this amount of different internship experiences. So can it be waived? And he said yes. So the videos also did justice to that one. But for English proficiency, they were requiring that. And I reached out to him and I told him that I'm from Ghana. Obviously, we are taught in English language. I have a letter showing that I'm proficient in the English language. And he said, oh, and I even pinpointed that Nigeria is on the list, so Ghana, and he said he thinks so, so it has to be waived. I submitted my application without an English proficiency test, but later on he came to reach out to me that it happens that the International Students Office is saying I still have to write an English proficiency. So I needed something that would be very quick for me. And fortunately, they were accepting the Duolingo, which is more flexible. You can sit in the comfort of your home and write it. So I opted for the Duolingo and I wrote that one and I passed it. So, but I think that currently Ghana has been added to the list and you don't need English proficiency to apply to the school.
Right. So you were a national service personnel when you started the process, right?
Yeah.
So people might be interested in, and I will come to that, how much you spent in the process. You spoke about paying about 60 something dollars to apply to the current university you are. You took advantage of New Mexico State University's application fee waiver. So we'll talk about the funds you invested in the process. If you're watching us, you're welcome. You're not late to the table. We are still on. I'm talking to Sewa. She's sharing her inspirational journey applying to universities in the US, getting admission without a scholarship, how she eventually got a scholarship, and she's now studying in the US. So we are live on TikTok, we are live on Facebook, we are live on Instagram, X, and also YouTube. It's the same platform, the Fred Effect. So if you go to any of these platforms, just Google this, just search the Fred Effect. And Sewa has a TikTok platform too that you can follow her, and she shares her inspirational journey, and how she did most of the things. You can ask her questions, and I love the fact that she would pinpoint your question, make a video to answer that. So later on the program, I would share the link so you can join us live and ask your questions as well. So well, let's talk about how much you invested in the process. You national service personnel, there's no money. Where did you get the funds to invest in the process?
So let me try and remember so well. Fortunately for me, because I did my national service with a private business, so our allowance was not delaying. So that was an advantage for me. So I leveraged on that allowance to gather my documents and all that. And I was very fortunate that my family too was very supportive, even though they didn't have the money. But once they knew that I had something tangible. So let's say if I wanted to get like my transcript and I didn't have that money and I reached out to a cousin of mine or a brother of mine, they were willing to help me. And my national service money too was coming in very handy. So let's say I use that the service money to take care of the documents that I needed to gather and all those things. And at that time, my passport was not in yet. So I was doing lots of rounds trying to get my passport. And I reached out to I had friends who were outside the country. So one of my friends in Germany, I reached out to her saying that, please, can you pay my application fee for me? And she said, yeah, why not? And I feel like when you have something positive, when you are serious about it, it is way easier for people to support you to achieve that. And I believe that they also believed in me. That is why they supported me for my MRV fee. I had a cousin in the US who opted to pay that for me. My service fee, he paid that for me as well. So I really didn't have to spend a lot of my own money. And when I had my visa, I had to buy my stuff, my plane ticket. So my plane ticket, we went for a loan. My the stuff, my provisions that I had to use to come, my brothers had to make contributions to buy provisions for me to come to the US.
All right. So you were part of the our group that came here on a negative bank account, right?
You know, right?
Right. So when you come, you have to pay the
Okay.
loan back. So
Yeah.
today being Mother's Day, happy Mother's Day to you, by the way. And
Thank you.
you mentioned your parents in. I want you to sort of say thank you to, or show gratitude to, the people who assisted you in the way. So there was a time I was listening to you where you were saying that your brothers had to sacrifice their education so you
Yeah.
could go to school. So
Yeah.
let's say thank you to them. And you mentioned somebody who inspired you to start the process and all that. Let's not leave anybody out there.
Right.
Let's say thank you to them.
So the person who inspired me, his name is Dr. Nana Sapong, and I want to say thank you to him so much because he made this possible. I want to say thank you to my brothers for the sacrifices they have made for me. My family believes in me so much that I cannot fathom why they do. For my visa interview, they were like, you can do it. I didn't have hope in myself. They gave me so much hope. To my mom has, like, I had my dad there, but my mom was doing everything. I lost my dad in 2019. My mom has been so good, and I say like happy Mother's Day to my mom. I love her so much for all the sacrifices. My cousin, his name is Emmanuel Adi, he's in Texas. I say thank you to him so much for investing all the money that he did in me. And there's this other person, Oreku. He took care of my SOP, even my date hunting. Even when I didn't have scholarship, he was supporting me physically and spiritually, praying for me as well. And the person who paid my application fee, her name is Erama. Thank you, Erama. To everyone who ever supported my process, and to my pastor, Pastor Charles Nyaba, always praying for me, giving me the morale that I need. My church members, like they celebrate me. Every win that I make, they celebrate me so much that I am so grateful to all of them, and for everyone who believed in my dream, because where I am coming from, I know that it would have not been possible without the grace of God and without the wonderful people that I have in my life. So I want to say thank you so much to all of them, and I'm certainly going to make all of them so proud.
Right. So if we left anybody out, maybe we'll remember and then bring you the shout
Yeah.
outs, some other time. So yeah, it's very good when you show gratitude to people who assist, because definitely humans assist humans, right? All right. Let's move on. So happy Mother's Day to every mother watching, every lady watching us now. Happy Mother's Day to you. So this is the Mother's Day edition. So you can send your comments, you can send your questions in the comment section. I'll be reading them so that Sewa will be responding to them as well. So later on, I'll be posting the link. You can join us live if you have any questions for myself or Sewa. We'll be happy to respond to them as well. I would appreciate it if you click on the like button. It's actually free though, so please click on the like button. So Sewa, what has been your best experience in the US so far? And let's start with, has it been worth it? Of all the investment, of all the stress, has it been worth it since you got here?
It's worth it. I mean, when I came, I'm like, the US is worth all the hype that it's getting, because there's a lot of opportunities here. And one thing that I always say is that I was able to, out of my own pocket, buy a phone for myself for the very first time, which I would have never been able to do when I was in Ghana. So it's worth it. It hasn't been easy because I am one person who is so attached to my mother and my family. So moving all the way here is a little heartbreaking for me. But I like the fame that comes with it, you know. So be honest, you are abroad, like it's fun. And it's I've learned a lot. My mindset have changed on a lot of things. Yeah, it's worth it. Every dime. If you have to spend money on it, it's worth it.
Let's talk about the academics. You studied at the high school bachelor's degree in Ghana. Assuming you were supposed to have the same master's degree back in your home country, apart from the location, do you think it would have been any different? Is it not the same academic structure?
I think there would have been a huge difference. First, the funding aspect is key, and I don't know how masters works in Ghana, but I feel like here my class size is very small, so there's a lot of interaction. And one thing that I hate so much is so much homework. But I think that is what they are noted for, and it's so much easy to get good grades here. It feels like in Ghana, the professors want to punish us by giving us bad grades. But here, the professors want to make sure that you're excelling. They want to give you, if there's something that is going wrong, they want to make sure that it's right. And I love the fact that I'm the only African in my program. So I'm special. They want to always listen to me, and I'm always telling them stories about Ghana. Sometimes, like I bring stuff that they don't know about, and they always want to listen. So I feel like it's a better option for me in the US here. First, because of the funding and the cultural differences that you also get to experience, and yeah.
What were some of the setbacks you had when working on the process? In other words, what would you have done differently if you were supposed to start this process again?
So obviously, I would have applied to more schools, and let's say if I had to take a test, like I had money to take GRE test, because now I'm regretting why I didn't take a PhD, like a straight PhD. That I'm doing a master's, and after that I would do a PhD.
All right, let's
And
pause here. And for people to understand that you can directly apply with your bachelor's degree qualification or H and directly into a PhD program, right? That's what Sawa
yes,
is referring to.
so I mean, I regret not doing that, and I also regret not starting early. I think that may have also contributed to why I didn't get funding, because most of the schools I applied after priority deadline. So that's one thing that I would do. And obviously learn a lot, like be open to a lot of things. Yeah.
Great. So I'm still talking to Sewa. It's been an interesting conversation. Sewa is sharing her journey and how she went about the process with us. So how long did it take you? So talking about when exactly you started searching for schools, so you got your visa approved. How long? What was the proximity?
So let's say right before I completed school, so that would have been somewhere August, September. So like before August, September, thereabout, we had started this conversation. But
Hmm.
I officially started after I had left school because I needed my transcripts and all those things. So once I left during my national service, so let's say around from September thereabout, I started gathering my documents. And I remember for West Virginia University, I think I put in my application in is it January or March, like one of
Hmm.
them, and I submitted it. So I think I would have started earlier. So when I started from, let's say, September, that in 2022, I got admission somewhere in April. So it took quite a couple of months. But if I had started earlier, I know that the time would have been a little longer. So I would say approximately like 1 year, because I got my visa in July and I came in August. So, and I also believe that that 1 year, especially that national service period, is
Hmm.
very helpful, because national service alone is very hectic. So, doing your study abroad application during that time kind of give you some morale to be able to go to work every day, because
Hmm.
like there's a goal at the end that you also want to achieve.
Right. So in terms of somebody who has put in applications, admissions have been denied. Some people have gotten admissions, they are not getting scholarships. Others are getting everything, but they don't get the visa. What would you, being through the process and being successful, what would be your advice to any of these people?
I want to say, I mean, I'm a sucker for funding, because I always say that if you have funding, your story is less longer, and you are also able to, like, you are proud of yourself that you got funding, and you don't stress your parents, because most of us are coming from backgrounds that are not well to do. And even if we get bank statements to get all other documents, when we come, it's going to be very hard for us to survive. So I would say that the funding should be your top priority. I always say if you can go to school for free, why not?
Yeah.
But if you get admission and you get partial scholarship, and you still want to go ahead, if your family will be able to take care of your deficit, why not? This is a journey that is worth it. I said it, like, it's worth all the hype. When you come abroad, people start talking to you differently, they start respecting you differently. And me, one of the motivations, like, it's so like dumb, but one of the motivations that I want to do so well is that everybody who has ever looked down on me will see that, like, human beings do not bless human beings, it's the grace of God that works. And I want to also prove to the people that I went to school with, who saw that like I was not from a rich family and thought I couldn't do it, and all the exes who didn't like respect me, now all of them will be.
Shout out to all the exes. I wanted to hit on that. So most of the guys, when you speak to, they are like, okay. So when I was back home, there was this lady I wanted to approach, but she looked down on me, and now because I'm abroad, she wanted to. Is that the same for ladies as well? Like some guy that you were supposed to be with look down on you, and now you come abroad, he starts chasing you. Some
You
guy that
know,
you were
right?
supposed to
That's
be
true.
with. Okay, so shout outs to Ni Kote is saying shout outs to all the exes. Okay, all right. So I think I agree with you. It comes with some level of respect. The other time I was speaking with my mom and she was like, "Brah," I'm saying, "Hey, that ben my friend, me brah," you know. You
Yeah, and
understand?
I'm able to send like money home, and I feel so proud. I'm like, woo, me a bugger.
All right. So let's talk about the scholarship, right? When we say you have a full scholarship, what does it cover, and what do you even do?
So for a GA, so we have like three different types: the ones who do the research, the ones who do the teaching, and the ones who render services like work in administration. I work in administration. So for GAs, you are rendering a service, you are teaching, you are doing research, and in return, they are paying your tuition. If you have a full waiver, depending on some schools, it usually comes with your full tuition waiver, so your school fees, um, health insurance, and also a monthly stipend. So you're also paid at the end of the month or like twice every month. So I think like that's the package. But one misconception that I think people have is that once you have a full funding, there's nothing that you're going to pay. I want to like make it straight that just as in Ghana, you're paying something like department dues or some, there's a little bit money. And I mean, the stipend is enough for that. And the stipend is supposed to take care of your living expenses. I know some schools have packages that cover rent and all that, but I use my stipend to pay my rent, my electricity bill, and all that. But aside that, my school fees is catered for. I mean, it's fun to be a GM.
All right. So I know in the US, people pay fees per semester. If you look at your school fees and what your scholarship is covering, assuming there were no scholarship in West Virginia in your current program, and of course, school fees would differ from program to program. What do you think you would have been paying looking at your I-20 if it wasn't for the scholarship?
I would have been paying like 46,000 and
Which is
over.
which is huge.
Me, $10,000 I don't have.
Okay, not specifically, but averagely, you said you are being paid bi-weekly, which means every 2 weeks. So,
Mhm.
what is the range compared to maybe somebody working on a salary job in Ghana? What is the range?
So approximately, I should say like a month is a little close to like $2,000 that I take. So is it $2,000? Yeah, close to that.
Right.
So so every week, every 2 weeks, I'm
Hmm.
giving like approximately $900.
Hmm.
So for the 1 month, it's going to be approximately like $2,000.
Oh, awesome. So, and this is for some work you do, or what is it?
So I work 20 hours every week.
Hmm.
I literally sit in my office most of the time. So we do a lot of trainings for
Okay.
bystander intervention, child abuse, children on campus training, Title IX. So we train against discrimination. We let you know that discrimination is not allowed here.
Mm.
So sometimes I do go and give lectures, but now I don't do that a lot. So I more or less organize events that will create awareness. If it's talking to more or less making sure that the university community is protected. So I have to be in the office 20 hours every week, and my supervisor makes sure that I don't exceed that 20 hours. Sometimes if I work during the weekend, she makes sure that I have like a day off within the week. So I work for the school.
All right. So it means that you do not specifically work for the department in which you are studying, but
No.
you are a graduate student. But how difficult is it not conflicting with your classes? How difficult is it combining work with schooling?
So it doesn't conflict with my classes in any way. At any point that there is going to be a conflict, my supervisor is very open for you to change your hours. So let's say if it's getting to final weeks, you have to submit papers, so you cannot come into work. She totally understands, says take the time off, because even in the policy it says that at any point that your GA position is conflicting with your work, it shouldn't happen. Even as a research assistant, if your supervisor's research is making you lack on your own research, then there's a problem. So I have my class hours on Tuesdays and Thursdays. So I go to work on Monday, work the whole day on Monday. On Tuesday, for last semester, I would go after class. On Wednesday, I don't go to school, so I go to work the whole day. And on Thursday, I go after class. So, but the upcoming semester, I'm just going to class for 2 days, and it's just one class that I'm taking. So I have like options of choosing my own hours, and my supervisor is very open to that. So before the semester begins, you have to sit down with your supervisor, let him or her know that these are your class hours, and then you can figure out what works for you to be, yeah, at work.
All right. So practically, we could say that you are working and schooling at the same time.
Yeah.
All right. So what about vacations when school is on a break? Do you still do those hours so you are getting paid because you're not going to school? How is that dynamics like?
So for the short breaks, because I work in administration, I don't have to go for those short breaks because the university is still open. Sorry. So I only go off when the university is closed. But for summer, for instance, because my initial contract was 1 year, summer is the end of that semester, so I don't have to work for the summer because I have an internship that I want to do. But my contract has been extended, so I will begin again in the fall. But when school is on this long vacation, for instance, I mean, if my stipend is like $18,000 per year, then they have to pay till that $18,000 is up. But I do know that some GA positions working on hourly basis, if school is on break, you are not paid. I know some teaching assistants, once school is on break, you are not doing anything, you are not paid. But I was still paid during the spring break and all that because I was even working. So if I want to take a day off, then I tell my supervisor that I want to take a day off, but I'll have to make up for it.
All right, so we'll take a break, and when we come back, so I'll be talking about the accommodation, how much she's paying, the food, and in the US, if she's liking it, she's eating outside, she's cooking, she's going to talk about all that. So you're still here with the Fred Effect. My name is Fred. This is the biggest study abroad content platform. Every weekend, what I do is to, have a live session with somebody who have been through the process so that they share their ideas, information, and knowledge on how they did it so that you know how you can also do it. The schools they apply to, the programs they apply to. There are some schools you might be hearing of them for the first time on this channel. Please share, click on the like button. We have almost 1,000 people watching us, but the likes is lower. So if you're watching us on Facebook, it's free. Please click on the like button. You're watching us on YouTube, please click on the like button. On X or Twitter, I would appreciate it if you click on that love emoji. And also, on Instagram, please click on the like. I would really appreciate it. We want to be closer to the number of viewers. So please click on the like button. I really appreciate it. Let me have your questions in the comment section. I'll be reading them so Sewa can be responding to them as well. So if you are also interested in studying abroad, remember this is the biggest study abroad content platform. We share ideas and information. Please subscribe so that you can take advantage of the ideas and information we share here. Also, at the moment, my team is having almost every year, we organize mock interviews. We have a WhatsApp platform where if you've already scheduled an interview date and you are preparing for a visa interview, you can send me a message on Instagram, the Fred Effect, and then I'll be happy to add you to the WhatsApp platform. We meet every day to help you with the visa processes. Also, the Fred Effect has a partnership with Argo Visa. So these are former visa officers. And so you can schedule a one-on-one session with the Argo Visa team so that you have a former visa officer review your documents, interview you before you go for the visa interview. My team also assists individuals with high school and diploma qualification who want to pursue a bachelor's degree abroad. So if you want to pursue a bachelor's degree, we will take your document and work on the entire application for you for free. Now, what you just have to do is to use the link I'm sharing on the screen to schedule a private one-on-one meeting so that we explain the entire process to you before we take your document and help you out. Also, if you want to pursue a master's or a PhD, you can use the same link to schedule a private meeting, and then we'll be happy to assist you go through it. So let's bring Sewa back and then we continue. It's possible you can do it. If Sewa has been able to do it, you can. If Fred has been able to do it, you can do it. So Sewa, let's talk about accommodation. People are worried when they come here, where are they going to sleep? Is your scholarship taking care of your accommodation? Do you have to pay for it? How much do you pay, approximately?
So my scholarship does not cover my accommodation, but as I said, my stipend is enough for that. But so because I'm paid twice every month, if the first one comes, I use that to take care of my expenses, and the second one will make up for that one. So how I got my accommodation was after I had gotten admission, I had to start reaching out, and I knew somebody my program coordinator had introduced me to an alumni of the school, and I think you know him. His name is Mike. You have interviewed him on your platform before. So I reached out to him, and he had, oh, thank you to him also. I forgot to mention his name. He has also been very helpful, reviewed my SOP and all that. So I reached out to him asking about accommodation, and Facebook is very helpful. Facebook, that was where he got a link, he forwarded it to me. So I looked up some apartments, some people were subleasing their rooms. I looked it up and I was interested. And fortunately, too, one of the people who helped me throughout the journey also knew someone in the school. So he introduced me to the lady. I spoke to the lady, and amazingly, that was the same recommendation that Mike had made to me about the accommodation. So I just reached out to the apartments, told them that I was interested, like I wanted to come and I'll be in for the fall. I signed my lease, and aside you having people to reach out to, I mean, LinkedIn is a good place. And also, when you go on Facebook, you can put in the search bar accommodation or student accommodations at this particular place, and it'll give you a lot of options. I'm sure Marketplace, Facebook Marketplace also has all those things. And sometimes the school's website has information of that. So I live off campus. I signed my lease. Approximately, I am paying between 450 for rent, which electricity is included. No, electricity is not included. I have to pay electricity, but internet and all other utility bills are included aside electricity. So for accommodation, it wasn't a difficult thing for me to find. But one thing is that I had to pay the money for it before I got here into the US, which the cousin that I had in Texas paid that for me. So I was able to secure my accommodation. Once I got here, I just went to the leasing office, got my key, and then got into my room.
Ooh, okay. I'm still here with Sewa and she's sharing her journey with us. So later on, I'll be sharing the link so you can ask Sewa any questions that you want to ask. There was somebody who put a very good question on Facebook. I'm trying to look for it. And then okay, so Emmanuel is watching us on YouTube and he's saying that if you have full funding like she does, what is the minimum funds you have to show in your visa application? And so, we'll talk about your visa application process. So, you had full scholarship. So, were there some funds you had to show a financial statement during the interview?
So the funny thing was, out of my living expense, I ended up having to show like $36,
Mhm.
which my personal bank statement could have done. But I also wanted to make sure that there was no room for any doubt. So I wanted someone who had financial stability. So my boss opted to let me take her bank statement and even for my I-20. But it happened that when I went for my interview, they didn't even ask me. And I feel the reason I think my funding did a lot is that when the visa officer saw my I-20, all that she said was, "Oh, you have great funding." And so if you have full funding, no deficits, you don't need any bank statements to prove anything.
All right. So, talking about your visa interview, what do you think did the magic for you?
My funding.
Right. How many minutes did you spend with a visa officer, approximately?
Probably under 1 minute, because even the questions, because I remember that dawn I had joined your mock session. I didn't sleep. I was joining a lot of mock sessions, and I had like rehearsed what I wanted to say. But when I got there, I just got blank. I knew that if she had asked me any questions, I'll probably have been denied. So I just passed her my I-20 and she said, "You have great funding." And I kept saying, "Yes." Asked me whether I've changed my name before. I'm like, "This is irrelevant." I said, "No." "Have you traveled before?" "No." So I kept saying yes, no, yes, no, and didn't ask me why the US, all those things I was never asked, which I believe my funding did that.
All right. Um, so that is it for everybody has a different situation. So, in your view, going through the process, why do you think that people are refused at the embassy?
I don't, I'm not a visa officer. I want to issue a disclaimer, but I think that majority of it should be funding, because if you have funding, your story is less longer.
Mhm.
And also, and I have followed a lot of your sessions, and the three things that I have picked up from all the conversation with the former visa officers are, there are three things that you need to prove. And once you enter the embassy, the answer is no. You have to prove to them that they can graduate to a maybe and to a yes. So first and foremost, that you're a bona fide student, and you have been admitted into an accredited US institution. The second thing is
Right.
that um hang on. The second thing is that you have funds, you're able to take care of yourself. And the third thing is that you will come back. You have to create home ties. So I feel like if anybody will be denied, it will be based on these three things. It's either you don't have strong home ties, they don't believe in your funding story, and maybe they also don't believe that you have really been admitted. Yeah.
Right. So I'm still here with Sawa. So a lot of people are watching us now. We have close to 1,000 people who are tuning in across the Fred Effect social media platforms on Facebook, YouTube, X or Twitter, and Instagram as well as TikTok. So you can put in the request. I'll be happy to respond so that you can join us and talk to Sawa. So we've done like almost an hour. How long can you still go?
I have all day.
Everybody, when you come on, tell her what she has to get a YouTube channel. I've been telling her,
Ah,
she has to get it. She has a lot of information to share, and I love the fact. So shout outs to Fela, shout outs to Kingsford Onyina, shout outs to Shy Vibes. I don't want to forget anybody. There are lots of people. The Study Abroad Hub, a lot of people who when they went through the process came and they are putting in information and content, helping our brothers and sisters on how to do it as well. So Sewa, you really need to get a YouTube channel. Tell us what the YouTube name will be.
what do you think it should be? So, those things are some of the things that are
Yeah,
preventing me. Really, like, I have difficulty coming up with names.
we'll go with the
It's
same brand. Sewa.
yeah, I
Yeah,
think the brand has come to stay.
it sounds cute. I'll ask people how what name they should expect.
Yeah.
Ni, how you doing? Ni was giving us a lot of comments in the chat. Hi Ni. Oh man. Your microphone is muted. You have to unmute, sir.
Oh, before, like, I mean, I'm looking at comment in the comment section, but one thing that I want to say about West Virginia University is that you do not require any of the evaluation methods.
Okay.
So they have an internal evaluation system. So you're able to upload your own transcripts. People have difficulty because the evaluation is quite expensive.
Mhm.
So you have the opportunity of applying to West Virginia University without evaluation. You just estimate your GPA, even if you come from KNUST with a CWA, you estimate what you think it is, and they will do it. But there's another part that you would have to mail them a hard copy of your transcript after you have gained admission.
Yeah, I'm glad you brought that up. I should have asked that question. Thank you so much for
You're welcome.
because the evaluation is a bit challenging for people. What is your take on low CGPA, getting admission and scholarship, and also the HND?
So I think it is very possible, especially with the evaluation. I mean, I
Mhm.
haven't had experience with it, but from the testimonies that I've heard from people, that when they do the evaluation, actually boosts their GP or something like that. So I think it's very possible. And I'm also saying that your GPA is not the only requirement to gain admission and funding.
Right.
That is why, if your GPA is low, you should concentrate on another aspect of your application where you can put in so much. So let's say you have a low GPA and you want full funding, and you think this school says writing GRE will guarantee you funding. I believe you should make that sacrifice to get that funding, because if you apply without, you won't get it. But if you are writing it and you get it, why not? I have a friend too. He he's in, which school is he in? I've forgotten. I
Mm.
think he's in Wichita State University.
Okay.
And they told him not even any test English proficiency, just write IELTS and get funding. And he did, and he got it. And some people don't want to write it. I mean, I understand that sometimes it's because of financial issues, but
Mhm.
if you can make a sacrifice to do that, please do.
All right. So we'll be picking up people so that they talk to Sewa. Somebody's giving you a nice name. He said, David says the YouTube name should be Sewa the Traveler.
I mean, thought a traveler would have synced more if all I was doing was traveling across the US.
All right. Somebody's just saying, I do much love the segment today. Thank you, Sycamore. Which country are you watching us from? So, give us your suggestions. What should be the YouTube name for Sewa's YouTube channel? Um, all right. So Tara is saying I'm actually going through the West Virginia. How is the African community? You talk about being the only African in your class. I was the same way when I was in University of Kentucky. How is the African community at West Virginia?
I think we have quite a significant African community, but it's not as robust as like the only African community I'm so jealous of is Ohio University's African community. Like here, this is a predominantly white state. We have African Students Association, but
Mhm.
we don't even know ourselves. So I feel like our international students office is not a robust one as compared to places with high African population. So I am thinking it's because this is a predominantly white state and they are now being open to getting a lot of black people or African people here. But in the midst of all that, we do love each other. The Ghanaians here, for instance, when we got here, they threw a party for us and now we are getting to know each other. So I think even from my TikTok videos, I have over like 20 people who are now applying to West Virginia University. I have like two other people who gained funding through the same process that I did, and they'll be coming in the fall. So I think the African community keeps growing by day.
All right. Let us know which country you're watching us from. What is the time at your end? It's currently 1:38 p.m. So what's your time?
Yeah, it's 138.
Okay, same time. And let us know which country you're watching us from, and also suggest a name for Sewa's YouTube channel. She has to Operation Sewa should start a YouTube channel. She has start. All right. Ansu, please unmute your microphone and go on.
All right, so I'm watching from Ghana. I just joined and I just started following, so I would like to listen to your conversation more before I come in to ask a question or anything of the sort.
All right, that's absolutely fine. Let's see. I think Adebayo. Adebayo, you have to unmute your microphone and go ahead. Adebayo, please go unmute your microphone and talk to Sewa. Okay, Adebayo was not able to. So let's talk to Obo. Obo, how you doing, sir? You have to unmute your microphone.
Good evening, Fred.
Yeah, kindly go ahead, bro.
So I so much love this conversation today. Thank you for all you do. And I, Siwa.
Hey.
So 2 months ago, I got in touch with the grad coordinator in WVU, which is your school. So I want to apply for the master's program. However, I told me that I should hold on a bit. They are doing some restructuring, that I should apply direct from BSc to the PhD program. They will no longer required master for the PhD program. So I want to confirm if that is also true. Then I want to confirm the actual application fee because you told me by August the application portal will be open. Then etc.
So if I get you right, you wanted to apply to a master's and now they're telling you you can apply straight to a PhD program, right?
Yes, yes, yes.
So what WVU is going through, like there's a lot going on here. Some of the programs have been cut because of budget issues. So I am probably
Yes.
thinking that that program, the masters for that program is not happening anymore. Do you mind? What program is that?
Communication studies.
Yes. Com studies. I don't know if I think the masters is online now. So the masters program, most of the masters programs have been cut off because they do not have like a lot of people in there, and it takes money to run these programs. So if they are saying apply to the straight PhD program, I think it's a very good idea. One thing that you have to do is to keep in touch with your program coordinator and that's going to be very helpful. And it's very likely that for a PhD program, you're going to get funding for that. And I also always say that if you're not getting funding, don't consider it. Look for a place that's going to give you funding. So just keep in touch with the individual, and then yeah. For the application fee, I am not certain. I think it's somewhere around like $60. I think we have that information on the website. It should be easy.
All right. So I will get that information for you.
It's
So
$65.
great. Thank you. So there's another lady joining us, Esther. Hi, Esther. How you doing? Your microphone is muted. If you could kindly unmute your microphone and go ahead. Okay. Esther is not ready. So let's talk to Naftali. Hi, Naftali. How you doing, sir? You have to unmute your microphone, Naftali.
Hello, Mr. Fred.
Yeah, please
Good
talk
evening,
to
Mr.
Sarah.
Fred.
Yes, sir. Please talk to
I'm doing
Sarah.
great, sir. Please, my question have to do with it's on mute. For muted already. Hello,
Yeah, we are listening to you.
hello. My question is about the letters of recommendation.
Mm-hmm.
Please, can you in the way get the letters down before the application process? Because I have a situation where the institution asks that my recommender should email the recommendation letters.
Right.
So one
So
of them did that, but the second recommender did not do that. So my application is still hanging.
right. I mean, I
So I don't know
understand like
whether we could,
recommend.
like one could get the recommendation letters done
So
before
recommendation.
you start the application process.
Okay, recommendation letters are really one of the most stressful parts of the application process. But, at this point, most schools do not allow you to upload recommendations yourself. But if a school is allowing you, you can take the recommendation down before you start your application. But I think it's really not advisable because most of the time they are going to give you generalized recommendations and addressing it to whom it may concern. But I believe that when a recommendation is addressed directly to the school you're applying to, it holds more substance because they feel like if you have a general recommendation, you are using it to apply to like schools across board and all that. Recommendations are one of the most hectic parts, but I would say even if the school is asking you to provide details of your recommender, do provide, and that's why it's important to create relationship with your professors and all that. And if a recommender has not submitted your letter, I believe it is in the right direction if you reach out to the school after you have submitted your application. You reach out to the school and tell them that you have submitted your application, but it looks like one recommender is delaying. Is it going to affect your application? Correspondence in this journey is very important. I remember after I had applied to WV, one of my recommenders had not sent in. That was my supervisor, and he was one person I believed in so much that I was going to send it quickly. But it is not entirely their fault, especially from a place like Ghana. There are lots of students asking them. And he was explaining to me that they have to like fill forms to be able to submit it. And imagine a student who happened to be in his class and he doesn't know these students. How is he going to tailor a recommendation for your particular interest? So it's not child's play. So take your time, correspond with schools. If it's going to be a problem, then you know that. But sometimes really they are going to allow you for like a window for your recommender to submit it, and keep reaching out to your recommender even if they block you. Go to them. I believe that the first step of asking for recommendation is going to see them in their office. Most of the time just corresponding to them on email. Me, I used to go to their office, tell them I'm here for the recommendation, so they gave me hard copies for myself and the ones that they sent to my schools as well. Hi, Esther.
Hi. Okay. Hi. So, oh, you are really inspiring me because I gained
Thank you.
admission without scholarship, and I've been going out of my mind. I'm going mad actually because I was so excited when I gained admission, but I don't know. I didn't get any scholarship, so I almost turned it down. But Mr. Frederick said I should just relax and hold on. What I want to know is, from Ghana, our English language is not like um, the way the US people talk. So I want to know, how did you merge or understand like their language when, like, during lectures? How did you like get to go through like during lectures, so that maybe we can pick one or two things when we get there?
Right. So I mean, I think it's possible to actually understand if you pay attention. Um, I want to say I have particular interest in the English language. Sometimes I don't even hear them. I'm like, can you come again? And a funny thing is, one of my professors asked me in class one day that do we speak English in Ghana? Because they are amazed at how well I can speak. I'm like, yeah, we speak English in Ghana, duh. So I think if you can't hear a professor, one thing I love about the US or the diaspora is that they are there for you. So if you can't hear them, tell them that please, you are speaking too fast and I cannot understand. And let me tell you, those people love our accents and love the way we speak our English. You know that we take after the British English, and the Americans respect the British accent so much. They think it's very posh. So as you are coming, don't let them know that you are inferior. You are the boss, so you are coming to. If they can't hear you, they should go, go somewhere. So if the person is speaking faster and you can't understand, you can tell the person that can you speak a little like slower. Sometimes they use like stuff like jargons or something like that only Americans can understand. And I asked them, what does that mean? They are very open. You know, in Ghana, you have to raise your hand to ask a question. Some of the you can just cut him like, "What did you say? Can you come again?" So if you don't understand, they have that. Like, I mean, there are lots of culture shocks that I experienced here. That I'm like, "Whoa, it's so flexible here." I think Ghana na yama bibiaya chin chin chin. So once you're able to communicate, because I think Ghanaians have one of the best English accents. We do so well at English than most of the other countries. So if they're able to hear the other countries speak, there shouldn't be a problem with communicating with Ghanaians. And if you can't hear them, ask them to repeat whatever that they said.
All right, thank you.
Right.
See you
Please,
guys
I'm not
soon.
sipping so below. I'm not sipping so below.
All right. Thank you for joining us, Esther. So let's see if we can get other people on. So if you're just tuning in, you're welcome. I've been speaking to Sewa for more than an hour now. She's sharing her journey, has the school she applied to, the program she studied, what her academic backgrounds were, and what she applied into. How much is it costing in terms of rent and all that? She shared all of that with us. Remember that this session will still be on the Fred Effect platforms after the live session, so you can check it out and learn a lot from it at any point in time. Please support the platform by sharing and also subscribing. We just hit 60,000 followers on YouTube. We are like 140,000 on TikTok as well. Please, Sewa has a TikTok account. It's called I Am Sewa, and we are advocating for a YouTube channel. So please support Sewa's TikTok platform. We have close to 5,000 followers on TikTok already. The information she's sharing are personal experiences, and so it will help you a lot if you follow. Please do that.
Right, I think you can add my Instagram because TikTok messaging is like kind of stressful. I prefer Instagram if they want
Yeah.
to read me.
So somebody was asking how do they reach out to you? So let's see. I can put the Instagram on real quick. Um, let's see. So whilst I search for that, we can be responding to other people's questions. So I'll be searching for the Instagram handle and I put it on so that you know how to reach out to Sewa. So let's see if Lukman can hear me. Hi Lukman. Lukman, salam alaikum.
Hello, the Fred Effect. Walaikum salam. Hello, the Fred Effect. Good evening.
Good
Good
evening.
evening.
Good
I hope you guys
evening.
can hear me. Yeah, so I've been asking this question on Facebook in the comment section, but I realized that it wasn't going through because of the. So I got admission to SIUE, Southern Illinois University, Edwardsville, and I wanted to know because I've sent emails to the various offices, the international office, the graduate office, and some faculty members. So I wanted to know how possible I can get their replies. I was admitted for the fall semester 2024. So, what's your advice to me? What do you think I should do? What I should keep doing so I can also get some funding?
Okay, so you said Southern Illinois University at Edwardsville. One other option,
Yes,
right?
yes.
If it's a grad program that you can go to, is that if you go on Google, you can just type graduate assistantships, Southern Illinois University, Edwardsville. If they have it, it will pop up. Sometimes they post it on their website. Ohio University like this does that. So that's one easy way you can also do that. And did you say you have reached out to the libraries, like all those offices?
No, I haven't reached out to the library, but the international office and the graduate office.
So, any office on campus, any other non academic office on campus, you can reach out to them and ask. But first, I think you should type graduate assistantships at Southern Illinois University, Edwardsville, or even like go on the website, navigate it. The problem I think a lot of people have is that they just go and do like a frisk search of the website and then they come back, but you have to do a deep one, right? This demands so much dedication, so do a deep search. And the next option will be to reach out to all non-academic offices. Even for some academic offices, they do need external GAs. So I mean, reach out to the non-academic offices. They do have like something like career services, the graduate education's office, libraries, students advising, the counseling units. So all the non-academic offices, you can reach out to them and ask. If not, I would encourage that you can put your energy somewhere else, because really, if you won't be able to afford the cost of attendance, why do you want to put yourself in such a position? And it's not you
Yeah,
don't have to be in a rush. You don't have to be. I always say, if it's possible to go to school for free, why not?
yeah, yeah. Okay, that's well noted. I'll try that, and if possible, I'll also reach out.
All right,
Then
bro.
we'll see how it
So
goes.
you said Southern Illinois University, Edwardsville, right?
Yes, please.
Yeah, so I do have a platform, a WhatsApp group for all the people I've had opportunity to access to this institution. So you can reach out. We add you. So you've not gotten your I-20.
No, not yet.
Did you get the 8,000 automatic scholarship?
Did I get the what?
The 8,000, Southern Illinois Edwardsville has an 8,000 automatic scholarship. Did you get that one?
No, I didn't.
Okay,
I
you,
didn't
sh- you
get that.
should you should go ahead and still get your I-20 and start the visa process whilst you still pursue the funding. You should
Yeah.
do that. All right. Thank you for joining. Okay. Okay, Andrea, you have to put okay, so that all right. You need to, I don't know why it's sounding like that, but I think you have to put off what you're watching to be able to join us. All right, and then it's not working. So you need to put off what you're watching. Adebayo, can you please hear me? Your microphone is muted, Adebayo.
Yeah, hello, good evening.
Adebayo, talk to Sewa.
Yeah, good evening. Thanks for what you have been doing. Hello.
Hi, I can hear you.
Yeah, good evening. Thank you a lot for your time. I'm calling from Nigeria.
You're welcome. Please go ahead.
Okay, my question is building on. I want to know when is the best time to start emailing professor, like prospective supervisor. When do you think is the best time to start messaging them
Now is the
concerning
best time. Now. Like now is the best time. Depending on also which semester you want to apply to.
that
So
for
months
fall 2025?
Yeah, you can start corresponding with them now and ask about like funding opportunities in their labs, in their research team, or something like that. Like now is the best time. Keep corresponding with them. And one thing that I also want to say is that when we are reaching out to professors, we have to be as detailed as possible, not very long though, but make sure that you are reaching out to them at times that they will be available. So you know that there's time difference between Ghana and the US, or Nigeria and the US. So make sure that you are reaching out to them when they are awake, not like 10 p.m. you are sending somebody email. So in the morning when the person goes to school and opens their email, your email will be like at the bottom. And most of them open their emails in the morning before their classes,
Okay.
so like 8 a.m. thereabout. So you would want to send emails strategically around those times, but there's no right time to start sending emails to advisors. The time is now.
Okay. So what will you advise? Will you advise I message professor first before messaging gadget coordinator, or I should do the two at the same
So you
time?
can do both of them at the same time, but you should know what exactly you're looking for. So if your program requires that you secure an advisor before applying to the program, make sure that you've reached out to the advisor, their research interests are aligning with yours. And most schools will say that once they agree to have you on their team, then you can start applying. Then you begin also corresponding. Sometimes I believe that you should have something substantial, even if it's research that you've done, so that the person will know that you are serious and you are not going to ask questions that have already been answered.
Okay.
All right. Thank you for joining Adebayo. We appreciate you. Nee is on. Hi, Nee. If you can unmute your microphone and go ahead, sir. Hello. Nee, can you please hear me? All right. Nee is unable to hear me. So, Andrain, it's difficult bringing you on because of the sound at the back. No, it's difficult bringing you on because of the sound at the background. It makes it difficult. There's a feedback and all that. I don't know why, but sorry about that. Okay, so let's see if we can have Charity on. Hi, Charity. How you doing?
Hi, I'm fine. Good evening.
Chisewa.
Okay,
Hi,
so I'm,
Charity.
hi, I'm talking from Ghana, and right now I'm a diploma holder. But I'm currently doing my top up at UPSA. But I want to continue in abroad, so I want to ask for the requirements because right now I've been booked one-on-one talk with the Fred effect, so I'm looking forward to that too.
Right. I mean, Fred is the best person to talk to in this process, but the requirements too are dependent on schools. Schools have basic requirements that may differ, but let's say the one that cuts across all schools will be your statement of purpose, or like all your essays, your CV, your transcripts, and letters of recommendations.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that would also depend on whether you want to use your diploma to apply for a master's or you want to use your diploma to apply for a bachelor's degree. So yeah, talk to you soon, Charity. William, if you can unmute your microphone, we can now listen to you. Hi, William. Okay, so William is not ready. So let's see if we can talk to Wisdom. Hi, Wisdom. How you doing?
Doing good.
Yeah,
Fred.
Wisdom, please talk to Sarah.
Sewa,
Hi.
good evening. I'm from
Good
Ghana.
evening.
My question is today is the first time that I'm joining, but my question is I was listening to the conversation, but I didn't know that Fred will call me unexpectedly. But my question is the English proficiency letter. Since Ghana is an English country, is it necessary to provide it to all the universities in the USA?
So every university has a requirement. Some schools don't care whether Ghana is an English speaking country. It's a requirement. They require that other schools to have opportunities for it to be waived for you because you studied in Ghana. So sometimes the schools will provide you with a letter that is stating that you completed all your courses in English language. So if the school is saying they want it and they do not waive it and you want to apply to that school, you have to write it. Otherwise, there are a lot of schools out there now that are accepting that Ghana is an English speaking country and do not require it.
Okay. The second for the day is actually I got admitted to the University of Ghana just this January. I'm in level 100. I was introduced to Fred Effect I think last 2 weeks. So I'm planning of maybe if I'll get one-on-one face-to-face with Fred to ask about how to go about it, whether to start the whole process again to apply for a degree at the state or I don't know my stand now. I wanted a one-on-one with Fred, but if maybe you can touch on one or two things for me before he adds something to it, I'll be glad.
Yeah, you can certainly book a one-on-one with Fred, but I would say, I mean, if you want to come to school in the US, that's great. When I give you advice, I always say that the final decision lies in your hand. Left to me alone, I would have said like complete your bachelor's degree because I feel like postgraduate has a lot of opportunities. However, if you still want to pursue your undergrad in the US, then you would want to also look at funding options, and I would encourage you to write the SAT or the ACT, which will boost your funding chances. You can get admission without those scores and like some partial scholarship, but I think it makes the work of anybody supporting you or mentoring you a lot easier because Fred will be so happy that he will mentor you and you say that, oh, I have this test course. Can you add it to my application? And it gives you, like recently, I've been meeting undergrads, like about three of them who have full funding because they wrote the test.
Oh, okay.
So thank you for joining Wisdom. So we talked to Hagar. Hagar, please go ahead.
Okay, thank you, Sewa and Fred. My question is with the funding and then the kind of program you choose. So I was looking out for this school and they specifically stated that there's funding for that program, but then you would be considered the more if you choose or if you are going by the thesis based course over the how do we call it, over the normal teaching based course. So I wanted to know because sometimes you might not be necessarily interested in a research. You need you want it for, like, you want the program you want to read for professional advancement. So what would be your advice in such a situation?
Right. So I should say that ideally, most of the professional courses do not have like GRE positions and all those things. But most of these fundings come from grants that professors have because of their research. So you would have to do the research to be able to benefit from that. And in most cases, research based programs are the ones that have a lot of funding. But I am now, like, on top of my head, I'm thinking that if you want to do a professional course without doing research, you can consider applying to like the external ones, working in administration and all those things. But mind you, most of these professional programs too have restrictions on accepting GA positions, even from like you don't qualify for GA positions. My school, for instance, the business school sometimes restricts students from taking even external GA positions, and
All right.
sometimes they open it up. So I mean, it's not too late to change your mind. You can, for the sake of the money, I would say that the research is not that difficult, right?
All right.
Especially for the masters. The
All right.
PhD is quite extensive. The research, I mean, when I was coming, I had the same. I didn't want to do research, but for my program, like every course at the end of every semester, you submit a research paper. So I think that should be something you want to consider. So I've given you like the two options. you look into it. And I mean, 2 years will come by so quickly if it's a master's that you're looking for. And if it's going to give you money, why not?
All right. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
All right, thank you for joining, Hagar. Okay, um, so Adrian, I really want to bring you on, but for some reason, there is a feedback we are getting when your microphone is on, so it makes it challenging. It's very disturbing. No, no, no.
Hey, Fred, why don't let's keep quiet and let him talk and see.
Hello, Fred. Hello. Are you still getting the feedback? All right, all right, all right, Fred. So, Fred, I've been following you for a while now. I've been trying to speak to you, book 101 with you, but I think I will do that as soon as maybe today. I should do that today. And I applied and I got admission with um, Carolina University, MS engineering, um, as engineering management. Yes, MS engineering management. I've paid for the acceptance and all of that. So they are waiting for me to provide the um, financials, the paper for the financial sponsorship and all of that, so that they can send my I-20 for the embassy. So, but I have some concerns. I have some concerns. I need some advice. Um, how should I do that? How to get in touch with you? How should I book with you? I wanted to book with you, but I really need to get. I mean, a lot of things are going on the internet, so I'm trying to be careful. So I'm living in Trinidad and Tobago, but I was born in Nigeria, so trying to be careful going on the internet. So how do I get in touch with you? I need to speak to you, even if it's on WhatsApp or something. You know. Thank you so much.
So here's the link. The link to schedule the meeting is what I'm showing on the screen. You can use that if you visit any of my social media platforms. So it will be in the bio, either on Instagram, YouTube, Facebook. You see this link over there. It's www.seller.co/4GIW, and we'll be able to schedule a private conversation. So it's on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. In my bio, you can see this link over there. Because if we decide to unmute you right now, there will be a feedback. So I don't know if you want to say anything so that let's see. Okay, that works. That works. Thank you. Atta Kunadu. Kunadu, you have a beautiful face. Why are you hiding it?
Where I am, I can't show myself now. That's
Okay,
why.
go ahead.
Good evening. Thanks for the good work that you are doing. I'm a follower of Sewa's TikTok account. You've sent so many messages. I think I sent her a message some time ago, and she replied. Thank you very much. Currently, I've gained admission to Eastern Illinois University to pursue MSc Sustainable Energy Management. But as it stands now, the admission came without funding. Though I've gotten my I-20 and everything, and it's the only school I applied to do. So I was like, should I defer the course, or since there's no funding? I reached out to my program coordinator, and she said they're giving out all their GA position out unless next year. And I followed what you and Sarah has been talking about. So I've reached out to almost all the departments in the school. Looks like they are all full. So like right now, I don't know what to do. Whether to defer, because I'm currently working. I'm an energy manager now. I want to like further my education. Though I already have a master's degree from UK, but I want to have I did water environmental management in UK. Right now, since my current role, I'm into like espousing sustainable energy stuffs to industries. I want to also upgrade myself in that. Like, So I don't know. I'm in a fix. I don't know whether to defer or what.
Right. So what I want to say is there's information available, right? So if they are specifically telling you that all the positions have been filled, then I mean there's no point in continuing to bombard them. I know somebody who kept sending emails and now they've told her to stop sending them emails. So what I want you to do is for your department, right? Reach out back to the coordinator and ask him if you defer, are you going to get funding? So sometimes they do say that. So for NMSU, for instance, they told me that if I defer, there's going to be funding available and all that. So I just deferred to four. I'm pretty sure they are going to send me email to start coming to school. So ask them. And I feel like sometimes when you communicate with them directly, you get access to a lot of information that's not available generally. So ask him because now it looks like the option is to defer. Otherwise, do you have funds that you can take care of yourself? Like you can pay for that? Because sometimes too, I have come to understand that when you are in the school, you get access to a lot of information that on the outside you will not get. So, I mean, those are options that you can consider if you think you will be able to come and sponsor yourself and like look for other funding opportunities. That is fine. If you are so bent on coming to the US, or if you don't mind and you still want to wait and take your time and come, reach out to your program coordinator and ask, if I defer, what am I going to get funding? What's the probability that I'm going to get funding? And yeah.
All right, Atta, I don't know if you have any follow up.
Yeah, that's what I want to do because I reached out to some of the students there. And one lady, my department told me that even on campus, and there are lots of students who are there looking for GA position. So I should defer, and she's so sure that I'll get it because my coordinator told me I have a very good application. Just that though I applied, I think early in November, but the I-20, the financial kept like back and forth that delayed it. If I had gotten the admission, I think around March, I would have gotten a GA position. But I
Yeah, so
think I
keep in
got in
touch.
April.
Yeah, keep
Yeah,
in
so
touch with him. Don't be like when you need something. So keep asking anything that bombards you, ask. Let them be very
okay.
familiar with you. So when the opportunity comes, your name will be the first in their mind.
Oh, okay, okay.
So, Atta, if you have an I-20, why are you not paying for the visa application? Why are you not scheduling a date?
Because like there's no funding like on it, and
You
it's
have a
just my
you have an experience studying in the UK, right? You have a travel
yeah,
experience. So, are you
yes, yes.
scared not getting the visa, or are you scared getting
Yeah,
the
with the
visa?
UK, I was on Commonwealth scholarship. I was on scholarship,
I get it.
and
Oh,
this one
I want to
from
connect.
the videos I've watched concerning the visa, the US visa. I've not tried it before. It
No,
looks
no.
like
I think
funding.
your experience would make it easy for you to get it, with
Yeah,
or
I
without
think
the
she has
scholarship.
good credentials, even for that Commonwealth scholarship that
Yeah,
you've had
and
before.
then you didn't overstay in the UK, right?
No, 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 no. I came, I
Please,
think, immediately
tomorrow,
after.
go and pay for the visa application fee. You have an I-20, schedule a date. Now, the I-20 that you got, you can even email the department head, tell them that you are still serious on coming. So, you are sharing with them your progress. So I've gotten my I-20. Now, when you schedule an interview date, let them know that you've gotten this date for your interview. Ask them if there is any tips they can give you for the visa preparation. Just like Sewa said, consciously putting in their mind that you're working on coming. Do you get it? So, not always saying, I want funding, I want funding. Find a different strategy. And if there is any funding that becomes available, they will let you know. So
Okay.
please don't sleep on the I-20. Go ahead and pay for the visa application fee. You'll be proud you
Oh,
did.
okay.
All right. So I don't know how long you can go, but people would still have more questions. I was trying to search for the Instagram handle. It's still I am Sewa, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I
Or
wanted
you
to.
can just type my full name in there. Or let me just do and send you a link of that. Hang on.
Mhm. I think that would be super helpful. Okay. Let's see if I got it. So I want to share Sewa's Instagram handle so you know how to follow Sewa. So I just showed them the TikTok handle. Let me do that again. So Sewa has a TikTok platform. Please follow. That she shares a lot of information over there. On Instagram, trying to see if I can share the same at the same time. So on Instagram, if you go to Instagram, you search for I am Sewa, and that is I am underscore Sewa, and the full name is Paulina Sewa Jemfi, and she's God's own, dark skinned, height. The height,
You found it.
okay, 10th April, birthday, KNUST alumina, and then West Virginia. So this is Sewa's Instagram handle. She has some cute pictures over there. So go follow Sewa. If you want to get in touch, I think Instagram allows you just like WhatsApp to send a direct message. Instagram allows for a call and all that. So you can follow Sewa there and be able to. Okay, Instagram is asking me to log in now. All right. You know why Instagram is disgracing me? It's asking me to log in now. All right. So that is Sewa's Instagram handle. You can follow. Wellington, can you please hear me?
Okay. Good
This
evening.
this this your name sounds like you are a British exported to Ghana kind of vibe, right?
Hello. Please can you hear me?
Yeah, we can
Yeah,
hear
we
you. Go
can hear
ahead.
you.
Wellington. I'm currently in Legon level 300. Psychology and
Can you speak up a little
information.
bit, or you are crashing on Sewa? Speak up a little bit, right?
Okay, so Wellington, and I'm currently in Legon level 300 psychology and information studies. So I would like to know what's the best advice you can give to someone like me who maybe after the university would like to study abroad and yeah, without wasting much time and other stuff.
Make good grades. Like put your best in it. And that final year project work that you're going to do, put your
Yes.
best in that. I mean, the good grades is not the only criteria, but it's the first step in its right direction.
Yeah. Okay, so
And start watching a lot of YouTube videos, learning a lot about the process. If you want to try your hands on how to write the essays, you can begin doing that. Yeah.
oh,
Yeah.
I have and I've even written multiple SOPs and then code emails in case I want to email a professor or something.
Right.
Great.
And the documents required, just have a list. If you have a note that you've been writing, have a
Yes.
list. So if you don't have a passport, you start working on one. If Sewa spoke about the essays as well, know the programs you intend to apply to, make the grades, and you can start writing down some schools you may be targeting. And most importantly, the document. If you don't have a passport, please get one. Think about whom you'll be getting your recommendation letters from, the professors you are currently in contact with. Create a good connection so that when you come back for recommendation letters, they will help you out and all that. So for now, it's a good advice Sewa gave you, and it's good that you are thinking about this in level. At this level, this is super intelligent. So it means that akra better can on namanu bisa taibo, right? Yeah. So, it's good you started now. Appear Martin set. If you can unmute your microphone and go ahead.
Okay, good evening. Um,
You have a
please can you
handsome face
guys?
and your skin is like that of Sewa. You don't want
Yeah.
us to see your face.
Oh, you will be
I
a
like your
perfect
suit
match.
though. It's like you're on the campus of Legon, right?
Yeah. I'm
Legon
done
one
with
year
school.
guy.
Okay.
Anyway, go ahead.
So I have applied to Western Illinois University. I had opportunity to gain a graduate assistantship, and it's a 2 out of 3 graduate assistantship. So I'll be allowed to work 13 hours per week. So after everything, the extra funding that I'm supposed to show proof of is around $8,500. Um, Currently, I'm in the process of trying to get a bank statement and other stuff to get my I-20. But my issue is, from my background, I don't know how I'm going to find out the rest of $8,500. Even if I had opportunity to get to the school, I don't know any other means of finding such money. So it's a kind of headache to me right now. I don't know what to do.
Right. So for on your I-20, you have $8,000 as deficit, right?
Okay, so the I-20 hadn't been issued to me yet. But the school has emailed me that this the $8,500 is what I'm supposed to,
You have to prove.
show a bank proof of, like a proof of funding for.
So one thing I want to tell you is that most of the time the deficit is arising from living expenses. And your living expenses may not even be up to that amount. Like you yourself, you may have like good financial discipline and all that, and you may not even need up to that amount of $8,000, right? Because I've $8,000 is something you can like, it's good. Somebody is praying for that one. So if you're going to be able to get a bank statement, I mean, you never know, they may not even question you about that. I have a gentleman coming to this school. He has full funding, but he has to show um extra funds of close to like 3,000. That is arising from his living expenses, right? And that's nothing to worry about. Any other fees that you're supposed to pay, right? You can set up an installment. I pay like 1,200 every semester. I set up installments where I pay like $400 every month. And you can pay that from your stipend, depending on how much that they are paying you. So I'm saying if you are able to get a bank statement to get that, your goal is to get into the US, you figure the rest out. Like $8,000 is not something that should prevent you and keep you in Ghana. No.
Yeah, and so I had wanted to ask that. Earlier you mentioned that you pay fees even though you're on a full scholarship. So what you're trying to say is that out of your stipends, that is what you use to pay some of your fees, including your rent and stuff like that. So you're saying that in a semester you pay about 1,000 and something.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
that one too is also dependent on the courses that you have registered and like all those things. So
Yeah.
sometimes if you really want to cut down on that money, I
Mhm.
just figured out a way that you can do that. There are some courses that don't require like online fees and like all those things.
Yeah.
So if you really read through the course modules and those things, you'll find out that you'll be able to even cut down on that money. But I mean, 1,200, they're doing you good, and you
Yeah.
have the opportunity of paying in installments. Like they understand that this is the issue. You'll be able to pay in installment. I mean, $8,000 really shouldn't be something that is preventing him from coming
So
to the US.
Apia, I have had opportunity to assist a lot of people to this same university. Shout outs to Prince. I even had a session with Prince. He is doing a second master's in the same university. So I know earlier they used to request bank statement, but I know now their university is requires Western Illinois University in Macomb, Illinois requires like a bank letter. Find out first. So they may not necessarily need a bank statement, but a bank letter. So please be quick. I think you should send me a private message to see that how best I can help on Instagram. So you don't have to delay. Getting an appointment is becoming a bit challenging now. So you need to act quickly. If you've gotten such huge scholarship, you don't have to worry about 8,000. It's not a big deal. Just like said. Ba Richard, hi, how you doing, sir?
Yeah, I'm very fine, sir.
Please go ahead. Talk to Sewa. Do you
Okay,
follow
so
Sewa on Twitter? On TikTok?
not yet, please. I just
Okay,
got
you have to.
yeah,
Okay, go
I'll surely do.
talk to her, sir.
Okay, please. My
Oh man, Ban, your microphone is muted.
please can you hear me?
Yeah, this is better.
Okay, and then I have lots of challenges. I completed BSc in
Ban,
business administration.
hello,
Yes, please.
Ban. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
You don't have a lot of challenges. Relax. Unyan yinin drove bia, but one in your things that So we are here to assist you. Just go ahead with your question. Don't start with you have a lot of challenges. When you need to say a lot of challenges in German.
Yeah. It's about the application issue.
Yeah, so it's not a lot of challenges. You go
Okay.
ahead with your question.
Okay. So I didn't do project work after completing my business administration BSc because I choose different courses to replace the project management because I was a weekend student. So I don't know if this is going to be a blockage for me getting an admission to any of the universities outside.
So I want to go ahead with it.
No, it will not. As I said, I mean, the application process or the decision making process is based on a lot of other things. So
Mhm.
in your SOP, you can explain why you didn't take a research. It doesn't spoil anything. Me, for the reason I even added my research was that they needed a writing sample, and I could have opted to write a sample,
Yeah.
or
Okay.
and I reached out to him and asked. I did a dissertation in my final year. Can I upload that as my research? And then I went ahead to do that.
Oh,
So
okay.
it's not a problem unless otherwise stated.
Okay.
Let's talk about a lot of problems. What's the other problem?
Yes, it's about my GPA. I had a GPA of 2.8, and then when I'm searching through some of the requirements of the universities, I see that they state a good grade or good GPA for upper, second class, upper, and then first
So,
class.
so I want to respond to that.
So, Richard, have you evaluated your transcript?
Yes, please.
Okay, and that ended up in the two point whatever that she said,
Richard,
right?
do you know what
2.8.
transcript evaluation is?
Not really, but I had my set, and then it was 2.8 that was on it.
Okay, Richard does not understand transcript, so he has not. So,
Oh yeah,
Richard, the 2.8 is awesome. You and I know if it's 4.0, it's not easy to get the 2.8. And a lot of schools accept 2.5 and even above. So, what Sewa is referring to, if you evaluate your transcript, you push it to maybe 3.0. So, that would be perfect. Let's talk about the other challenge you have. So, we've said that your research that you don't have, most people do not have. Personally, I did not have any research, which was not a problem. Your CGPA is not a problem. Let's talk about your other problems.
Okay, I think the other ones have answered this ones, the one I have. But then yes,
But this is what I see. Please
okay,
be very positive, yeah? Don't
all right,
focus on negativities. Don't see yourself as having a lot of problems. The all that you are referring to, they are not any big deal. So you can do it. Have that
yeah.
positive mindset. Push yourself. There will be challenges, but don't let those challenges bring you down. You definitely be fine, sir.
Me, I had problems because I remember telling my mom that, "Ma, I do it on farm. I come over to you," and then I told her that I'm going to spend Christmas in the US. And when it got to Christmas, I called. I'm like, "I told you so.
Yeah.
So it's possible." Yeah.
So I was traveling from Bolibomboy to Accra for my interview, and there's a gata closer to the embassy. I used to tell people that if my visa was not approved, Kasabri me that's gata.
Oh.
Because I spent all my money. So what the being at the northern part of Ghana, it's a different place altogether. I've lived
Yeah.
all my life in the southern part. I was posted there. The weather, the food, everything is different, right? And 559. So, putting that money into the process, then so I understand why sometimes people would be disappointed and they don't want to continue, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So is there a certain part of the journey that was like you wanted to give up?
The funding part for it,
Yeah.
because in my mind, I'm like, if I don't get funded, I'm not going, because I didn't want to put. And my motivation was that I really wanted to make my family proud, and I
Mm.
wanted everyone who had ever thought that we couldn't do it. Now my mom is so proud, and when I see, I'm so happy that people now don't underestimate her anymore. So the funding, I could literally like cry when I go to work. I'm not happy. Like, now I don't know the eagerness that I used to go to work, and now I got funding and I'm not getting dates. I'm like, what is this? Like, this process is so frustrating. So recently I'm like, if I'm helping someone and that person is not willing to learn, I have felt this frustration and I'm not willing for you to bring your frustration to me.
Yeah.
But it was so heartbreaking that I could wake up in the middle of the night and sit like this, and I'm thinking, like, is this going to work out? But I want to thank God that even one of the people who was mentoring me, he didn't take a dime from me. He
Mhm.
was praying for me, kept like physically and spiritually. He's like, "So I'm keeping you in prayers." He's like, "It's going to happen." I'm like, "I've given up." He said, "It's going to happen." So I had a lot of positive energy backing me. The funding nearly broke me. I'm like, what?
Yeah.
It nearly broke me.
We should let people know that if you talk to everybody, the process was not easy for anyone. don't think that it's going to be easy, but is it worth it? Is it possible? Yes, it is possible.
Yeah.
If the other time I was listening to your session with Peter Bawa, shout outs to Peter Bawa, good brother. So you look at the fact that people are looking up to you, stuff like that. People have sacrificed their school for you so that you will go to school, and for you to come closer and give up wasn't an option.
Yeah.
So we
My
come
my
here.
brother, I remember. Let me just finish
Shout
this
outs
one.
to him. Shout outs to him.
He said something when I told him that I wasn't getting funding, and that he's like, "Mommy, we the interest, so what's and I try next year." By that time, now I have saved a lot of money. I told him that no, we are not stopping here. So when I got my visa, it felt so surreal. When I got to the US, I'm like, am I really in the US? And I also came during summer, so like the heat was still here. I'm like, is this approaching?
Yeah, and the Midwest, especially, it could be very hot.
Yeah.
And when I went to Arizona is like Bole Bamboy. It's super hot. I tell you. The whole time I was there was over 100. I'm like, this is
Ooh,
pure, yeah, this is pure desert. Arizona is super hot. And
that's my favorite place. I want to go and see the Grand Canyon.
oh, you should. It's a very beautiful place. It just looks like Ghana. There was a time, there was some hen and a chicken roaming about in Venice. So there's no snow in Venice. So when you go there, people think like, oh, Hanya Bruchi, because it doesn't snow over there. So we are not just here to flex our muscles to let you know that Yansio Abruchi, or we are also abroad, or we are studying abroad. We are not better than you. So I'm sure you had classmates who probably, were more intelligent than you in school, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
it's possible you can do it. And I'm happy that a whole lot of people, shout outs to Fela, shout outs to Kingsford Onyina, Peter Belwa, Planner Head GH, Nana Bafo, Choco Millionaire, Sewa herself. I don't know if I'm missing anybody, but yeah, thank you to all of you who have made it possible that this is the journey we went through, and we are giving out information so that our brothers and sisters can also go through. So it's been like almost 2 hours. I appreciate your time. It's been an inspiring journey for the YouTube channel, dear. You for creator.
Sure.
Yeah, for the YouTube channel, you for create them. So we'll be expecting, and whenever you have it, we can also have another session to let people know about the YouTube channel. So for now, you can message Sewa on Instagram as Paulina Sewa Gemfi, or I am Sewa, and on TikTok too. She creates good content that you can put in. We can't pick any more people coming in. So what will be your last words to anybody who had the time to watch us for like 2 hours now?
So I want to say thank you so much for giving me this platform. And also, I want to say that it is possible, right? I specifically stand for those of us coming from um poor backgrounds and people thought all hope was lost. It is very possible. If I see myself here today, let my life be an inspiration to you. And I would say, like, God was not left out of this journey. He has seen my tears, He has seen my heartbreaks. And in the midst of all that, I want to say, at any point in time, if there's pain, channel that pain to be a motivation to you, and see yourself like everything that I have done was something that I envisioned, I prayed about. Somebody says something that your current position is certainly like your prayer point some time ago. So pray and put in the hard work. You don't expect not to work and just pray and expect it to work. No. And don't only pray and don't put in the work as well. So let God be your motivation. At that, if only at that time you stop all the bad things you are doing, stop doing that, and work hard, do a lot of research, be open-minded. Don't keep it a secret, right? Like, there's a difference between keeping it private and keeping it a secret. If you know somebody who has done that before and they can be an inspiration, please do that. And I want to say thank you all so much too for joining Fred's Live today. This is certainly the biggest study abroad platform. You should subscribe, turn on your post notifications, like every video that he has here, leave a comment, and stay blessed.
Somebody They're inspired. Matilda, yes. So Matilda, that's the whole idea for this platform. We know there are a lot of negative side we can talk about, but we decide to focus on the positivity to inspire you that we've not regretted making this journey. And for some of us, it's been a changing story in our families, especially we that people didn't think that we could also travel up, but we have been able to do it. So what do you think about this? They said I was speaking with somebody last week, and he said that scholarship is better than relationship. What do you think?
Sadly. Well, I agree with him. But relationship too is important, right?
Right,
Because sometimes that relationship can give you that
the
scholarship.
scholarship,
So I
right?
mean, you have to like balance all of those stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. How is that life like? When people travel abroad and they are studying, how do you keep in touch with family? How do you keep up maybe a romantic relationship, especially your partner is home, time difference and stuff like that?
So it's very heartbreaking, right? It's one of the toughest things to do
Mhm.
because like it's time difference. But one thing I love about my family is that I communicate to them the time difference. So my mom used to call me when she wakes up like 8 a.m. I'm like, Ma, I'm sleeping. So I told him. So she calls me when it's like 1 p.m. Ghana time and I'm
Yeah.
awake. So communication I believe is very important. But for me, long distance relationship was never going to work for me. So me, I made sure that me now not that not that I'm a bad person, but and not
Okay.
that I was in like a committed relationship, but anybody that I was talking to that I knew that at this point I didn't want to put anybody in any stress.
Yeah.
So like but I think communication is very important, and if you really want to make something to work, because in this average, like the loneliness hits different, like on a different level.
So what do you do to sort of kill that? People feel overwhelmed, sort of alone kind of vibe, because over here that kind of individualism is here.
Fred,
What
yeah,
do you do about that?
I really sit in my room and cry. When
Yeah.
I came fresh, like the depression was so high
Mhm.
because on vacation everybody is going home. I don't have any
Yeah.
family here. Like where am I going? But I mean, social media is one of the things that helped me a lot, and I
Mhm.
have a very positive family, so I talk to them, and what I see it to be is like this time will pass. And
Yeah.
me, I have plans of going to Ghana, so I let that one be my motivation that I'm certainly going to see my family again. But it's
Right.
crazy. But I mean, be positive. And where I work to, they are very supportive. Like they understand that I traveled across the sea to come here. So they do everything for me to be able to make sure that I don't feel sad or miss home so much.
Okay, awesome. It's been a good conversation. We can go on and on and on, but thank you. I appreciate your time. It's been like 2 hours. So we are looking forward to me coming on your YouTube channel sometime as
Sure.
well. So I really appreciate your time. Thank you so
Thank
much
you for
for
having me, Fred.
yeah. So it's been a wonderful conversation with I am Sewa. My name is Frederick. This has been the Fred Effect content platform. This is the biggest study abroad content platform. For more than half a decade, we've inspired, mentored, and helped thousands of people on their study abroad journey. So you can do it. If I was able to do it, you can do it. If Sewa was able to do it, you can do it too. So at the moment, my team has a mock interview platform which has existed. Sewa was on that platform as well. So if you have an interview date scheduled, just send me an Instagram message. I'll be happy to respond to it. I'll share with you the WhatsApp platform so you can join. And, myself and my team would help you prepare for the interview. However, if you want to talk to a former visa officer, the Fred Effect team has a connection with, former visa officers. So you can use the link I'm showing on the screen to be able to schedule a one-on-one conversation with Argo visa as well. If you have a D7 E8, if you've graduated from high school with whatever degrees, if some of your results are withheld, remember there are still universities in the US that would admit you and give you a scholarship as well. So my team is the only team that is helping people for free to change their stories as well. So you can use the link I'm showing on the screen to schedule a private one-on-one conversation with a Fred Effect team, we'll be happy to assist you, take your documents and apply for a university for you. If you're interested in a master's or a PhD or a graduate program, schedule a one-on-one conversation based on experience going through the process and also assisting thousands of people go through. I'll be happy to mentor you, to assist you go through the process. The sky is huge. All of us can fly. We don't have to crash against one another. There are a lot of negative things we can talk about, but we focus on positive vibes. We focus on positivity and let you know that it is highly possible. So you can also do it. So thank you for tuning in. We have more than 1,000 people watching us across our social media platforms. Please follow, subscribe, share, and like. I would really appreciate that. If you leave me a comment, I'll be happy to respond to it. The best way to and the quickest way to get in touch with me is on the Fred Effect Instagram platform. So you can send me a private message on Instagram. Just search for the Fred Effect. My account is verified. I'll be happy to respond to it. So it is possible. You can do it. Please be positive and know that everything will be fine. Next week, I'll be talking to another person to share an inspiring journey with us as well. My name is Fred. This has been the Fred Effect. Please be positive. Everything will be fine. I'll see you in the next one.